In this video, let's look at absolute value inequality of type O. So we're looking at some kind of inequality that has either greater than equal to, or perhaps just greater than. Both of these are considered to be inequalities of the type O. Now, the reason they're considered to be inequalities of the type O is when we solve such inequalities, we follow the two-step process. And the first step is we solve for the absolute value. So let's come back here. So the first step is we solve for the absolute value. And then, once we're done with it, the second step is we split our inequality into two different ones. And the first inequality is going to be exactly as the original, but without the absolute value. And the other one is opposite inequality sign and opposite sign on the number. So whatever this number happens to be, it's going to get the original. Let's say this is 2x greater or equal to 8. Then when we split into two inequalities, the original will say 2x greater or equal to 8. And the opposite would say 2x is less than or equal to negative 8. Now the reason this is called OR is because when we split our inequality into two different ones, we'll look for the place, we'll look for the solutions that are true either for the first or for the second. We're not looking for the place that is true for both, we're only looking for the place that is true for either one or the other. And then we'll write the answer in either interval or set builder notation. So let's try it on an example. So suppose we have to solve 3 absolute value x plus 2 less than 3 greater or equal to 9. So the first step is to get absolute value by itself. And to do this, we have to undo two operations. One of them is multiplication, the other one is minus 3. And following the order of operations, PEMDAS in reverse, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. When we solve, we follow the order of operations in the from bottom up and undo all the remaining operations. Well, we have two operations to cancel. Minus is first. To cancel minus, we use addition, so we add 3 to both sides. That makes 3 absolute value x plus 2 is greater or equal to 12. Now, we're done with addition, subtraction. Multiplication, division is next. To cancel multiply by 3, we use its inverse, which is division, and we divide both sides by 3. Since we're dividing by positive number, we are not switching the inequality symbol. This stays the same. This symbol stays the same. If we divide it by negative 3, the inequality symbol would flip. So now we're finished with the first step. X plus 2 is greater or equal to 4. At this point, we split our inequality into two parts. The first is just as the original, but without the absolute value. The second is opposite inequality sign and opposite sign on the number. Now we solve each one. So to solve the first, all we need to do is add the 2 to both sides, so minus the 2 from both sides, and that makes x greater or equal to 2. And on the other side, we minus 2 from both sides, and that makes negative 2 from negative 4 is negative 6. Now, on the same coordinate axis, what does that look like? Well, somewhere there is a negative 6. And somewhere to the right of it is positive 2. Now, both, so let's say x is less than negative 6, that means everything to the left side of negative 6. And since we have an equal sign, we have bracket as opposed to a parenthesis. Now, on the other side, we have greater or equal to 2. Greater or equal is to the right. So also has brackets because of the equal sign. So this is what the diagram looks like. This is the visual for all of our solutions. In interval notation, the answer in interval notation, we write everything where the answers begin to where they end. And they begin at negative infinity. So we start with parentheses, negative infinity. Infinity is always in parentheses because it can never be included, it never ends. And then on the other side is negative 6 with a bracket. Then, to show that there is more than just one part, there is two parts, we actually connect the second answer with a U symbol, and it stands for the union. And then the second half, it starts with a bracket, 2, and then it goes on forever to plus infinity. And again, infinity is with a parenthesis. So this is the answer in the interval notation. For the set builder notation, all we need to do is write the set with these two conditions in it. So set builder looks like set is in curly parentheses. We have axis for the x for the variable, and the two things that have to happen is x has to be less than or equal to negative 6, or x has to be greater or equal to 2. Close the curly parentheses, and that's the answer in set builder notation. So this is how to solve an inequality of the type O. And depending on what we're asked for, we might have to write the answer in either interval or set builder notation. And now with the calculator, we can check to see if this diagram looks reasonable. We can actually type in the original question into the calculator and see and have it test whether to see which points are greater or equal to 9. Those would be marked as 1s, and those that are less than, that are false, will be marked as 0s. So let's look at this diagram here. Okay, so here's the calculator. Go back to y's. 3 times, now the absolute value is under the math, so I go to the math, NUM, numbers. First choice is ABS, that's absolute value, hit enter. X plus 2, and then after that is minus 3. Now to put the greater or equal to symbol, I need to go to the math test. Test is in the blue, so I hit second math. And the greater or equal to symbol is the choice number 4, so we put in greater or equal to 9. So let's see what that is. So that's true, false, true, and that's what the answer is. So if we were to make a sketch of what the calculator gave us, let's here make a little picture. So the calculator says that here is a height of 1, and so up until we get to negative 6, from here, from negative 6 to this way, it's all 1s. So this is all true, 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 true. So this is all like yes, yes, yes. Then after that, it says no, from negative 6 to 2, there is nothing. So this is like false. And then after that, once again, is true. So this is like a yes. So what that means is this picture from the calculator, this picture is the same as this picture. And that's how we can check visually if the answer is true or false. Thanks a lot for your time. Take care.